Welcome to this explainer. If you're currently guiding a young learner, you already know that the jump from those basic, isolated sounds to actual fluid reading, well, it's massive. It's a huge step. It's just part of the wonderfully messy reality of teaching kids to read. So today, we're going to unpack a super visual, incredibly effective strategy from our source material to help kids completely conquer consonant blends. It's called the blending slide.
So what comes after simple words and digraphs? Let's think about the natural progression here. Once your learner has successfully mastered simple, three-letter words and those tricky digraph teams like sh or ch, it is time for the next big challenge. They've conquered the basics, right? Their confidence is probably shooting way up, and we absolutely want to harness that momentum. But to do that smoothly, we've got to be crystal clear about the new rules of the road they're about to encounter.
Section 1. Digraphs versus blends.
Okay, so before a child can start sliding sounds together, they really need to understand how blends are completely different from the digraphs they just mastered. And here's the core rule. Unlike a digraph, where two letters basically morph together to create one brand new sound, the letters in consonant blends act way more like a team, where everyone still gets to use their own voice. They keep their distinct individual sounds. Recognizing that these letters hold on to their unique identities, that is literally the key to unlocking this whole next level of reading.
Section 2. The playground slide technique.
To actually teach this distinct sound rule, we use a metaphor that pretty much every kid on the planet already knows and loves: a playground slide. Because, let's face it, kids just learn better when they can connect a totally abstract reading concept to something fun that they already understand. The whole idea is to pronounce distinct consonant sounds so fast that they actually slide together. You explain it to them like this. While we still hear the individual letters, we say them so rapidly that they just whoosh right into one another. You start at the very top of the slide with that first sound, and you just slide right down into the rest of the word in one smooth, lightning-fast motion.
To put this into physical practice, try saying, "watch my lips." Ask your learner to watch your mouth really closely as you listen together for the s and the t sounds. By having them physically stare at your mouth, you're actually helping them map that auditory sound they're hearing directly to the physical movement required to make it. It essentially forces this really deep focus on exactly how those two distinct letters behave when you stick them side by side.
And here's exactly how this sequence plays out in real time. We start completely separated. S, t, o, p. We treat each sound super distinctly, kind of like climbing the rungs of the ladder on our imaginary playground slide. And then we slide right into the word stop. Accelerating through those letters to hit that final blended word gives the child a totally tangible way to process the sheer speed required for successful blending.
Now listen to how this builds. You actively ask the kid to listen for those distinct sounds. For example, the s and the l in clap, or the f and the r in frog. You can keep it going with the d and r in drum, and finally the sm and the m in smile. By constantly comparing those chopped up, isolated sounds with the fast, fully blended word, you're literally training their ear. You're teaching them to hear the distinct letters right up until the exact moment they whoosh down the slide.
Section 3. The slow motion trick.
Let's be real. Learning is rarely a perfectly smooth journey. When a child inevitably struggles with a tricky blend, say st or fur, and they get kinda stuck at the top of the slide, you can pull out the slow motion trick. It goes like this. First, you tell them to say the sounds in ultra slow motion, stretching them out like a giant rubber band. S, t, op. Then step 2, you ask them to gently speed it up. And step 3 is where the magic happens. Going from a completely stretched out slow motion sound to a super fast pronunciation acts as a bridge. Honestly, you'll usually find that their brain just instantly clicks right into blending mode. Which brings us to our ultimate takeaway. Listen for both sounds, but keep them close together. This one little sentence perfectly honors the distinct identity of the letters while simultaneously demanding the speed you need for fluent reading. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider this. Once a child realizes they can actively control the speed of sounds, what other reading barriers suddenly become just another slide on the playground? Armed with this technique, you and your learner are completely ready to find out.